Namaskar. On behalf of Embassy of India, Dublin, I would like to welcome all the viewers who have joined us today from India, Ireland, and other parts of the world. Under India-Ireland Friendship Lecture Series, we are privileged to have with us today Ms. Sangeeta Batra, a renowned ceramic artist from New Delhi, who will be speaking on the topic My Journey with Clay. Ms. Sangeeta has a background in psychology and education, having completed her master's in developmental psychology and bachelor's in education. Besides being a clay artist, she prides herself as a homemaker. She has chosen clay as an expression of her artistic self and has been working, or as she would prefer to say, playing with the medium of clay for the last 2 decades. Ms. Sangeeta's tryst with clay started in the late 90s when she visited a friend's studio and touched the clay. It was in that moment she knew that this was not just clay, it was her calling. In her initial years, she was guided by her mentor, Monica Grewal. As her connection with clay grew deeper, Miss Sangeeta decided to set up her own ceramic studio, Googie's Clay. Sangeeta has exhibited her work in several artist platforms in India, such as Khajuraho Art Festival, Indian Ceramics Triennale Exhibition, the All India Fine Arts and Craft Society, and others. Miss Sangeeta finds working with clay both meditative and grounding. It is this alchemical experience that she seeks to bring to each of her ceramic pieces, drawing inspiration from nature for both the concept and design of her art. It is very interesting to see that an artist like Miss Sangeeta is able to transform something as humble and common as clay into rare artworks of incredible beauty and immense utility. This fact, combined with rich experience of Miss Sangeeta as a ceramic artist, makes for a captivating and informative lecture today. Before I invite Ms. Sangeeta to take us through her journey with clay, I would request His Excellency, Ambassador of India to Ireland, to give his introductory remarks on today's session.
Namaskar. My very warm greetings to everyone connected with this program from beautiful Dublin, Ireland. For us in the Indian Embassy, it's a great privilege to welcome an eminent artist like Sangeeta Batra ji. And I'm very grateful to her for sparing time to speak about her art, her traditional skills, and her vision. And this is a very important initiative for us because as many viewers will know that India and Ireland have very long-standing historical ties. From our freedom struggle, which was inspired by Ireland, our constitution was inspired by Ireland, and also currently, we have extremely vibrant Indian community, around 60 to 70,000 as per informal estimates. We have also about 6,000 fresh students coming to Ireland for higher education, masters and PhD. And also trade and investment linkages are growing very significantly. But one area I feel that has not been adequately addressed is the cultural connect. This is a very high priority area for me because Ireland and India both are extremely vibrant and also they have a very unique assets, very unique creativities that I see on both sides. And thanks to my wife, she's Riti, she is very much interested in art and culture. And thanks to her, I'm able to meet with a lot of Irish renowned artists and poets and authors and also people working in different art forms. And ceramics is again one area where I was very inspired by the Irish artists, and that is why we were looking for someone in India to share the perspective from Indian side and just kind of initial introduction of Indian ceramic art for Irish audience. The idea behind this lecture series is that with minimal expenditure and minimum inconvenience to friends on both sides, we enhance awareness. We enhance awareness about Irish art and culture in India and also about Indian artists and their work to be better known in Ireland. So I really hope that today's lecture and presentation by Sangeeta ji will catalyze a new chain of contacts. Artists looking at each other more closely, sharing their ideas, sharing their skills and their perspectives, and hopefully that will lead to more substantive partnership. Eventually, my wish is that the creative and cultural industries segment becomes a new B2B partnership between India and Ireland. Uh, 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 Ireland is a very unique country, although it's a 5 million strong population. It's a small population by country as a country, but it's extremely vibrant. It's about $500 billion economy and 270 billion euros of goods trade. It's a very vibrant, bustling ecosystem, and not only in the technology sector, but also in art and creativity and soft power segments. Also, Ireland is very full of ideas, because Ireland is a part of European Union, only English-speaking country in European Union post-Brexit. And also Ireland is very beautifully located strategically close to UK, close to European Union, but also part of European Union. Not only the connectivity with Europe, but also connectivity with the transatlantic countries, US and Canada, very strong, robust ties. So Irish people are inherently very globalized, and their mindset is globally networked. So they can help Indian artists in creating which is in line with the global trends. And if we join hands and dovetail our assets, then Indian artists and Irish artists can work together to be force multipliers of both. We can bring in some very interesting, diverse skills. Ireland can bring some different assets in terms of connectivity, in terms of new global benchmarking, and can be win-win, mutually beneficial, sustainable partnership for both sides. So I'm very excited to have this presentation, and I'm once again very grateful, Sangeeta ji, for sparing time. Voluntary basis, we can't give you anything, but we are very grateful to you for accepting our invitation. I look forward to listening to your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, for this wonderful introduction and the wonderful knowledge you have imparted about Ireland. It's already inspired me to visit there and find out about everything that's going on the pottery scene and the ceramic scene. Lovely introduction. Thank you very much. And once again, I extend a very warm welcome to all the people who have taken out time to see this video, see the presentation, and Merry Christmas to you and a very happy New Year. So should we start now? I would like to start by just saying, of course, I'm Sangeeta, as you know, and according to the introduction that was given by Varunji and Sir, this is how I started my tryst with ceramics. It was just on an invitation that I went to a studio of a friend, and there when I saw the students pottering around with clay, playing with clay on the wheel and throwing those clay in slab forms, hand building, I just picked up this lump of clay and I felt it suddenly just molded in my hands. And that was my calling. I said, yes, this is it for me. And since then, I have been training and practicing. It's been about 20 years now. And I'm just loving every minute I spend with this medium. It's a joyful experience for me. So before we go on to the other conversation, I think there's a very short video about my studio and my work, which I would like to share with all of you. Can we have the video, please, Varun?
माटी एक अनेक भांत के साजी साजन हारे, नाकच पोच माटी के भांडे, नाकच पोच कुम्हारे। Sarjana. Sarjana in Hindi means creator. I was born in a very small town in Punjab called Jalandhar. Since I come from an army background, so we used to travel a lot. I have attended many schools. And for being a Sarjana, it's very important to have knowledge of the balancing of the 5 elements. From my childhood, that has been my quest to see how these elements are woven together to create a perfect balance. This was the quest that started my journey into clay. Clay also incorporates all the 5 elements to create a balance in the finished piece. And by chance, I just went into a friend's pottery studio. And as I took the clay in my hands, I knew this was my calling. Since then, there has been no turning back. It's been more than 20 years I've been into this practice. And this whole process of creating, destroying, and then recreating it, it fascinated me, and I felt it created a lot of balance in my life. It was in harmony with existence, I feel. That is why clay fascinated me so much.
Thank you for the video. And I hope you all liked it. I saw the space I work in and the kind of work that I'm doing. Also, you must have noticed that I started the video with a quote. That quote has been taken from Guru Granth Sahib, which is the religious scripture of the Sikhs. And the last line of it says, "Na kuch poch mati ke bhande, na kuch poch kumare." It just signifies that everything is perfect. The potter is perfect, the vessel is perfect. How the potter creates the vessel is perfect. So being judgmental about anybody's work is, I think, it's there. Everybody's work is perfect. And we all strive and yearn for this perfection, even in imperfection. So that is what clay also signifies. You can create a perfect piece even despite the fact that it's a little imperfect. That is what clay teaches you. So now I would like to elaborate on why I chose clay as a medium for expression. And the following are the reasons. The first one is the malleability, which I was talking about. As I told you, when I took the clay in my hands, it was so soft to touch, so flexible to feel. I could just mold it any which way I wanted to. And that is what attracted me to the medium. And also the fact that the 5 elements, namely air, water, earth, fire, and space, we all are working within the precincts of these 5 elements in order to create balance in ourselves and the environment. So does clay. To make a perfect piece, we have to create a balance between all these elements. The clay uses water. When we are kneading it, we use water. When we are firing it, we are using fire. Clay is earth itself. And then there is air and space. So a perfect piece is an amalgamation of all these 5 elements in complete balance, which I think resonates with existence itself. And that is why my whole drawing towards this medium of expression. Last but not the least is the meditative aspect of clay. So my teacher always used to tell me, if you want to create a perfect, imperfect piece, you have to first create a perfect piece. And for that, it was a lot of practice, breaking many pieces, creating again, recreating, destroying, again, bringing it back. So all these things taught us to focus, be patient, and learning to let go. When your piece is bad and your teacher says, throw it, it's not good, you have to throw it. So that taught me to let go, to learn to let go of things. So that is how I feel it's a meditative medium. Also, it's very therapeutic, because I think what we cannot express in words, we can express with our hands. And what other medium better than clay to express it? That is why clay is used a lot in expressive art therapies, because it teaches you to release and then to accept or to receive. So I think all these aspects are the reasons why I chose clay as the expression of my thoughts and my ideas. And I think now I would like to come to the three main elements which are pivotal in my work, especially the three works that I have exhibited in this talk, which I'm going to talk about. The three elements are texture, nature, and movement. I will be talking about them individually. So about texture, I would like to say that different forms of texture in clay always fascinated me. I love to see the rough textures, textures in leaves, textures in the bark of the tree. They always attracted me, and I always wanted to get something like that on clay. And what I found was it was so soft and so accepting of what I wanted to do with it. Here, I would also like to mention that when we communicate with a medium, especially when we are creating, if we communicate well and understand the behavior of our medium, I think our medium talks beautifully to us. Just like clay, if you understand how it behaves, in technical knowledge or technical language, people would say, let's see the chemical composition of clay, or what are the temperature of firing, how it hardens, how it softens, how it liquefies. I would just say, using the language of the heart, that if you sense the behavior of this medium will talk to you. And if you talk back nicely, it'll give you wonders. So it's not about basically what you do to the clay, it's about what clay does to you. Now we come to nature. My inspiration for all my works, I think major part of my work comes from nature. I get inspired by everything around me: leaves, plants, flowers, animals, trees, birds. Everything that's in nature inspires me. And just like Sir just mentioned, that Ireland is uh, actually full of all these things. So it's more so that I may visit it soon, because I get so inspired by nature. And the third thing in my pieces is about movement. I like to incorporate some kind of movement in the still pieces. You see, if some creation is just lying in clay, it's just a still piece. So how do you instill a kind of movement in it? Something, a moving image, or say something like leaves falling. How do you kind of incorporate them in your work? So this is what you will see in my three works, which I'm going to talk about now. Please keep these three in mind. Now, this first work that I'm talking about is called Roots of Freedom. I have a very, very interesting story to tell about this. This was incidentally the first time I noticed this texture. So I was rolling out this slab of clay for making something, and I needed to kind of stretch the clay. So I stretched it. And when I was turning it upside down to dry it, I noticed these beautiful crevices there. There's these dark lines running here and there, deeper kind of incisions somewhere, and spots somewhere, and hazy look somewhere. It was just the most beautiful sight. And here I realized that clay itself unravels so many mysteries about itself. You just have to catch that mystery, and boom comes this lovely, beautiful texture. So I just changed, my mind changed about what I was making, and I decided to use this. So it's also how you decide and you plan out, and you make all kinds of drawings for what you need to do. And suddenly you get this thing, the clay kind of just unravels this in front of you, and all your images go, and you need to make this. So this is what happened. Everything just changed about what I wanted to do. So I took this piece of plate that I had made, let it dry, let it go on to the softer stage. And then I just wanted to put some movement into it. So I used the image of a galloping horse. I put it on one side of the plate because I also wanted to show space so that there is scope of movement in space. So the horse on one side is depicting galloping towards the space. Here in this plate, I left the cracks as they were. Just I had mentioned to you before that there is perfection even in imperfection. So technically, probably it's imperfect because of the cracks, but all in all, the cracks are giving it a beautiful character. That is why I maintained them on this plate. And this was fired to 1260 degrees. And I've used iron oxide as the base, and I've used black glaze on the horse. So this is it about this piece. I believe it's in perfect balance with itself and with existence and with the universe. And from then on, I go to the next piece. Now this piece is a set of 5 plates, which is an installation, and it depicts dancing figures. It is the balance ballet. Now here again, I've used the same technique to form the textures in the plates. You will see that they are all texturized. The method used is the same, but the beauty of clay is that whenever I have stretched it and put it upside down for drying, I get different designs in the texture. Each and every plate, as you will see, has got a different pattern of the texture. And the movement in this is again represented by the dancing figures. Here again, let me tell you that as a little girl, I was very, very fond of dancing. And in fact, I took training in the Indian classical dance form of Kathak. But somehow I could never realize my dream of becoming a dancer. And here on clay, I suddenly realized that my dreams could be turned into reality by putting all these lovely dance figures on my plates. So again, this medium taught me that, your dreams never die. You can always live them through your medium of expression. And here I found clay to be the best medium. In these 2 plates, I just want to emphasize that you see the different textures. Same method of stretching, but different patterns in the plate. And again, all 5 of them. Okay, now, yes, thank you so much for going back to it. Go back. Sorry. Okay, now we come to the third one. The third piece, please. Yes. This piece is titled In Rhythm. And here it signifies how ancient and modern go hand in hand in the progress and progression of humanity and cultures. I shall just go into the details of describing how this piece signifies this. Now here you see a big stone on which there is a pair of dancing feet. Now here the stone signifies ancient, old, anything that's very, very old, and ancient wisdom and knowledge. Like we all know that stones are the only mute spectators of all the changes the world and the universe has gone through all these centuries and millennia. They are the mute spectators to all this change. In fact, so many temples and caves in India have got these inscriptions, language on them, the rocks, which are still alive and you can see them. So that is why I used rock to represent ancient wisdom. Here again, I've used the same method of forming texture by stretching the clay, but again, the pattern is so different. Again, there was a crack which I just left the way it was because I thought it's just adding character to the piece. And progress and movement is again indicated by this pair of dancing feet, ornamented female feet in a dancing position. Here again, I have used the female form because I feel the female energy reigns supreme. Even Earth is addressed as Mother Earth. So that is why my reason for using the female feet ornamented in a dance form. Here again, we see that how the juxtaposition of the ancient knowledge and stillness of rock, along with the dancing feet of a classical Indian dancer, bringing about complete harmony and balance. And I would again finish this whole thing, this whole creation, by saying that it's a prayer that has that kind of shows that as we move into modern times, we do so with grace and honor for our ancestral wisdom. And here I come to the end of my description and my talk, but not before I mention the famous poet W.B. Yeats' words. He says, "The world is full of magic things, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. I have found my magic friends in clay, and I hope you find yours through whatever you feel and touch." Thank you so much. Back to the ambassador, sir. Waiting for question answers, if any.
Sangeeta ji, it was a really very impressive, very inspiring presentation. And your knowledge is so multidisciplinary. You are a poet, you are a scholar, you are a philosopher. And the poetry, the philosophy behind clay making was something very touching to me. I come from Varanasi, and Kabir Das ji spoke about clay and used it so figuratively and with profound messaging. Yeah, so you reminded me of that. And also, as I mentioned, like we are meeting a lot of Irish artists, and we have met last 1 year many prominent ceramic artists from Ireland. And it's so fascinating that you spoke about the meditation as part of your work. And almost every artist here I have met, they also have said same thing, that and particularly during the Corona period, when it was very stressful, very, very like tense for everyone, full of anxiety, then many of them said that they were even more active than usual during Corona period. And it was so healing for the artist community. So this was very, very inspiring, very impressive presentation. With regard to the next way forward, next steps, I think if you can help us, I see there's a lot of opportunity for Indian artists like you to like connect with your counterparts in Ireland and not only become good friends and spread goodwill for each other, but also create new products. They could be co-created, or you can become each other's support and force multiplier in expanding their opportunities. India, because of its very fast growing economy, and also we have large numbers, growing urbanization. So we have huge demand for art as well.
Yes.
Similarly, the Irish artists can also benefit by partnering and linking with friends like you to get access to the Indian market and be a real creators of prosperity on both sides.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, similarly, I do feel that we can also benefit a lot by tapping into the knowledge and experience that Irish artists have because of their location, because of their natural global connectivity. And as you mentioned, like W.B. Yeats. So again, one aspect which really fascinates me as we go out in Ireland and meet people in different counties, that there is an approach here is multidisciplinary.
Yes.
Like poetry and painting and literature and the ceramic and other kind of arts. So you see that they are fusing, they are combining concepts, combining ideas.
Yes.
So,
and they everything goes hand in hand.
Absolutely. And Ireland has 4 Nobel laureates, just with 5 million people, 4 Nobel laureates. Is a mega power in soft power, despite small. And also I mentioned that Ireland has higher education facilities in different ceramic and other arts, and very cutting edge courses in uh, art and design and like innovation, technology of furnace and heating and kind of chemical processing.
Yes.
I think there is a merit in getting some connection and sharing of ideas, sharing of experience in the capacity building aspect of art making.
Absolutely, sir.
If you can help me somehow connect with people and give us, share your ideas, and we'll follow up at this end and we'll come back to you.
Absolutely, sir. Will do. Will do. Will do.
Also, I think it will be great if you can, like, since you are so well connected in India and also you know everyone and the entire perspective on ceramic art. So if we can have to begin with a kind of informal network of ceramic artists on Indian side who may be interested in linking and connecting with Ireland. So we can
Yes.
also put together a similar group of Irish ceramic artists who are curious about Indian art. So we can have one kind of mechanism to connect with minimal
Absolutely.
expenditure. To begin with, it could be an interactive session through social media or through a WhatsApp group or a Facebook group, so that we get connected.
I agree with you, sir. And I
also
will start working on this.
Yeah, and also I'm very keen to have some kind of like a self-sustaining mechanism for sharing of ideas, sharing of experience, sharing, working together, exchanges between the Indian and Irish artists.
Yes.
If you can,
yeah, like
if you can have some mechanism in India, maybe through sponsors or local entrepreneurs who can help. Maybe they can host some Indians, some ceramic artists from Ireland for maybe 1 week or 10 days for kind of joint workshop or meeting with friends, sharing with ideas. And also we can have similar program on this side where some Indian ceramic artists can come and then spend some time, interact with their counterparts, learn, and maybe co-create or do something.
Absolutely. That will be wonderful.
Yeah, so kind of self-supporting, self-sustaining residency programs, workshops, without involving government funding, government agencies, because both sides is quite complicated.
Yes, I understand. Yes, I think that's a very good idea, and we'll definitely, this is I'm going to start working on this.
Yes.
Yes, very good idea.
Yeah, and treat me as part of your group, although we are not artists, but we are
of course, sir.
in touch with you, fully
Yes.
supportive of work you are doing, and you are instrumental in creating soft power for India, image branding for India. So as an Indian, I'm grateful to the entire artist community.
Thank you so much, sir. Grateful to you too.
If there are any questions, otherwise.
If anyone wants to ask any question, they can ask. They can also type that in the chat and we will be happy to pass it on to Sangeeta ma'am. So we do not have any questions right now.
Yeah, so let's put it in a lighter vein. They've either everybody's understood everything or everybody's not understood anything.
No, but I can read a lot of comments appreciating what you are doing.
This was in a very light vein.
It was a wonderful presentation, and I think that
Thank you.
all loved a lot. So your presentation will inspire many people in India to take up ceramics as well. I would like to thank you for taking out time for this wonderful presentation. I will thank all the participants.
Sorry, there's one question.
Yes, sure.
No, it's not.
It says, do you use fire or gas in your kiln?
I use gas in my kiln, gas-fired kiln.
That's the only question.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you so much, sir. And once again, wish you a Merry Christmas and a very, very Happy New Year. I'm so proud to be part of the Ireland-India Friendship Culture lecture series, and also representing India for the Azadi Ka Mahotsav, it's a very big thing for me. Thank you so much, Ambassador, sir.
Thank you so much, Sangeeta ji. Your presentation has inspired me, and also it has given me many ideas to pursue. I really look forward to keeping in touch and working together. And as I mentioned, our embassy is welcoming of any fresh ideas, any thoughts. And I prefer to go
Yes.
like self-sustaining. Maybe we can generate some corporate sponsorship so that it's like automated rather than dependent on annual grants from any government agency. So I'll be happy to work
Yes.
on that front as well, on Ireland side or even Indian side. I welcome your ideas.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah,
God
once again, very sincere thanks to all of you. And we are very proud of our Indian artists, very inspiring. Keep up. All the very
Thank
best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good day.